Hi, I'm Jen DeTracy, Jen being my first name, DeTracy being my last name, and I'm thrilled to welcome you here today. Welcome to all of you. And this is called My Messy House Chats. I am your host. I will be the chatter on this, and hopefully there will be some resonance with you. You have the opportunity to comment below, so what you have to say matters. You are definitely important here, okay? The reason why I started my Messy House Chats is really it's a metaphor. Number one, if you live with a chronic illness and fatigue, as I do, I live with fatigue, and my chronic illness is multiple sclerosis, MS, and I'm what you call relapse remitting. So if you live with MS, you'll know where you are on that scale. Is as a person who lives with fatigue and a chronic illness with unpredictability, is that it's hard to have a clean house, right? And in terms of the actual place where you live, whether that's an apartment or a mobile home or a big mansion, doesn't matter. It's a challenge living with fatigue and cleaning your house and making that a priority and deciding if that's even a priority. So that's one reason why this is called the My Messy House Chat. But the other reason is because from my own experience, as someone who's been diagnosed with MS and lives with fatigue and other unpredictable symptoms and challenges, is that my house, in me, the house, is messy, right? Probably always was. We're human beings. I always had a messy house inside of me. But when I was diagnosed and tail spinning, wow, it got really messy. And it's taken me a while to figure out, who am I now? Who is Jen DeTracy now? I've been living with multiple sclerosis in a known way for 6 years now. So for some that may sound like a long time. For others, you might be like, I've been living with this for 30 years, right? So this is the challenge that we have in our life, is that there is messiness, and living with a critical illness, living with fatigue and other symptoms or challenges that you face, pain, mobility issues, lack of sleep, headaches, you name it. The list is huge, right, for people that live with critical illnesses, or it can be, is that it's hard to not live in a messy space, whether it be in your own self and in your home. So that's what this is all about. And my intention is that I believe that we all, no matter how much pain we have, whether you can work or not work, due to your circumstances, whether you have a lot of mobility, whether you have very little mobility, is that we all have a purpose in our life. And sometimes I think it's really easy to lose sight of that when you are faced with so many day-to-day challenges and they're just, in your face, right? It can be tough. And so I wanted to start a community in which we can all come together. Number one, so people can feel that they're around like-minded people that understand what it's like to live with fatigue, to live with an unpredictable disease, whether it's multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, you name it, right? Yeah, the list is pretty big, and I can't even think of them all in this moment. And I'm sorry if I haven't acknowledged you in this. The reality is that we can still have a life, right? And finding a way to that. So I want to create, and I'm in the process of creating a community, and you can choose to be a part of this community if this resonates with you, called Allow Healing. Now that healing is not around, we're going to heal everything in the body, and that's a whole nother kitchen messy house chat. I call them, the kitchen is the most messy place in the house, at least I find for myself. So that's why, I think messy kitchen, but really the metaphor is the house, right, that we live in. So what I'm trying to say here is that we need a community. And what I have found is, as a person who has lived in social isolation while living with this disease and living with MS or living with fatigue in a major way, is this, is that it creates social isolation. It's harder to get out. It's harder to connect with people. And most people, if you explain fatigue to them, they can't even begin to understand what you're talking about. Even if you have metaphors for it, like, oh, haven't you been on a plane and overnight flight or traveled for 24 hours and you feel jet lagged and you feel like you're drunk and just like disoriented and exhausted? Well, that's how I feel like 25 to 30 to 40 to 50% of the time. So sometimes that can help, but the reality is that I wanted to create a community where we can come together, women that live with chronic illnesses, women that live with fatigue, and have some understanding and support community. And the core of why I've called it Allow Healing, allowhealing.com, is because we can all heal more on the inside because we're human and we are perfectly imperfect. So, if you're willing to embark upon stepping into that growing edge in your own life and also feel that you are surrounded by support and a community of people that are on this journey with you, that struggle like you struggle, then this is probably the place for you. So I'm starting with these My Messy House chats as a way to step into this. Last week I had made the decision to just shoot the first video, and here it is. So you're getting it live, it's raw, it's uncensored, it's everything that I want it to be, and I look forward to being on this journey with you in your messy house and seeing if we can create conversations in the chat area below the video in which you say what you need to say and feel heard from others. So I look forward to being on this journey with you, and welcome to Allow Healing and My Messy House chats. See you soon. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try this little clicker thing and see if I can stop my video. I'm trying to get technology down. Let's see. Okay, it's not really working, so I'm just going to take